Long HaoChen inserted a large returning spirit pill into his mouth. After lightly chewing on it, he lowered his head, lifted the veil covering Cai Er's face, and transferred the elixir into Cai Er's mouth. Cai Er's lips were cold and soft, yet, at this moment, Long HaoChen had no mood to appreciate this tenderness. With Long HaoChen's lips on hers, feeling his familiar breath, Cai Er's body trembled slightly, sensing a reaction. Long HaoChen finally breathed a sigh of relief. Carefully using his spiritual power, he guided the elixir to flow into Cai Er's body. Holding her tightly, tears glistened in Long HaoChen's reddened eyes, his body trembling uncontrollably. Cai Er, what did you lose this time, from your senses? Perhaps due to the effects of the large returning spirit pill, or maybe because Cai Er sensed Long HaoChen's intention, her fingers moved slightly. Long HaoChen quickly held her hand, allowing her fingers to graze his palm. Soon, Long HaoChen's face had turned pale. Vision, hearing, taste. Within her sixth sense, she had actually lost 3 senses. Cai Er had once briefly explained to Long HaoChen some uses of the reincarnation spirit furnace. Unleashing more powerful attacks demanded greater sacrifices. Losing 3 senses was almost pushing the reincarnation spirit furnace to its pinnacle, if the enemies were even stronger. Releasing the final 3 senses of her reincarnation spirit furnace, then, it was very likely that she might never recover. Losing 1 sense required a month to recover. Apart from needing to always have the spiritual furnace present to maintain one of the lost 6 senses, she used the triple attack of the reincarnation spirit furnace. Losing the additional 2nd sense required 2 months to recover. And it was cumulative, and losing the 3rd sense required 4 months, increasing exponentially. Hearing, vision, taste, losing these 3 senses required a full 7 months to fully recover. Moreover, during this period, if she continued to consume the reincarnation spirit furnace during this time, losing 1 more sense would add an additional 8 months to the recovery time. If she were to use the 5th level of the reincarnation spirit furnace, the final level, then all 6 senses would be permanently lost, leaving her like a living corpse with only a breath of life. Of course, if it came to that, the destructive power unleashed by the reincarnation spirit furnace would also reach terrifying extremes. The son of reincarnation from the past had relied on the 5th level of the reincarnation spirit furnace to severely wound the demon god emperor of that generation, and moreover, for the next 7 months, the 3 senses wouldn't recover one by one. Instead, she would have to wait for all 7 months to pass before they all recovered together. Behind the tremendous power, the recoil of the reincarnation spirit furnace was also incredibly terrifying. In the midst of Long HaoChen's anguish, holding Cai Er tightly without knowing how to comfort her, suddenly he raised his head and looked into the distance. On the opposite mountain peak, a group of demon knights riding nightmare demonic horses were descending from the opposing mountaintop, their target directed towards them. At this moment, the total number of these demon knights was about 30, and their strength couldn't be clearly discerned for now. Long HaoChen gently set Cai Er aside for a moment, then he stood up slowly, turning to Lin Xin and Han Daoxi. You two, guard the cave, leave everything else to me. Seeing Long HaoChen's expression devoid of hesitation, Lin Xin couldn't help but be astonished. Among the 2 demon hunting squads, she had known Long HaoChen the longest, yet she had never seen this kind-hearted, almost saintly, brother of hers with such an expression. At this moment, Long HaoChen, his eyes were bloodshot, emitting a chilling aura of killing intent. The light element around him became unstable, rippling around his body. In those sharp eyes, there was even a hint of bloodlust. Cai Er's use of the reincarnation spirit furnace had caused immense damage, prompting Long HaoChen to erupt completely. He needed to vent, needed to cleanse his anger with the blood of their enemies. Lin Xin and Han Daoxi didn't say anything, immediately returned to guard the entrance of the cave, while Long HaoChen, however, took off his holy spirit armor. Right at this moment, Long HaoChen suddenly felt a cool sensation spreading through his chest from the eternal melody, easing the pain and anger in his heart slightly. At the same time, Long HaoChen was surprised to find that there seemed to be a strange energy swirling around and entering the eternal melody. Once these energies entered the eternal melody, they silently disappeared without a trace. What is this? Long HaoChen's perception was much keener than the average person's. He followed the direction from which the energies came, and was astonished to discover that the source of these energies were the deceased great demon knights who fought to the death, and their mounts' positions, souls, its soul energy. In an almost instant moment, Long HaoChen's mind provided him with this judgment. This is the eternal melody absorbing the souls of the deceased, to replenish the eternal slumber. This knowledge naturally appeared in Long HaoChen's mind since he entered the Tower of Eternity. All of his future training would require vast amounts of soul energy support. Although the Tower of Eternity possessed considerable energy, unidirectional consumption would eventually deplete it. As the wearer of the eternal melody, he was the gateway to the Tower of Eternity, as well as a soul collector. Therefore, any recently deceased corpses, regardless of their race, would have their souls taken by the eternal melody. This sensation wasn't comfortable for Long HaoChen, but he had no other choice. The eternal melody had already fully integrated with his body, and it couldn't be removed. Furthermore, he couldn't easily tell others about it. He would only be able to share it with his father and teacher when he saw them. Once he had the answer, Long HaoChen's brows furrowed, but at this moment, he didn't have much time to ponder. Swiftly removing the outer layer of his armor, Long HaoChen tore his warrior attire into strips of cloth, then positioned Cai Er on his back, and put on his adjustable Holy Spirit armor, essentially merging Cai Er completely with his body. Long HaoChen knew that Cai Er couldn't hear at the moment, so he held Cai Er's arms, and wrapped them around his neck, then used the cloth to cover his mouth, and wrote in her palm. From this moment on, until you're fully recovered, I won't let you leave my side for even a step. I'll fight while carrying you, never give up, never separate. Cai Er's head pressed tightly against Long HaoChen's neck. 2 clear teardrops slid down silently. Today was the first time she wielded the immense power of the reincarnation spirit furnace. When she unleashed the reincarnation spirit furnace to its 3rd level, killing a demon lord 2 ranks higher, losing her 3rd sense seemed to throw her back to those terrifying days in her past. Helplessness, isolation, and the weight almost crushed her heart, and coupled with her weakened body, Cai Er felt as if death was closing in. The only thing holding her together was that tiny glimmer of hope, the hope that Long HaoChen would come back alive. He did come back. He eventually returned, while Cai Er endured the loneliness, helplessness, and the pain of sensory deprivation. He came back. When his familiar scent reached Cai Er's senses, Cai Er's heart trembled. The flicker of hope transformed into a blazing fire, igniting and burning brightly. When Long HaoChen kissed her, after passing the liquid of the pill into her body, the warmth brought by the pill, coupled with his familiar aura, Cai Er finally felt a sensation completely different from when she trained with the reincarnation spirit furnace. At this very moment, when she felt the words Long HaoChen wrote in her palm, Cai Er's heart was no longer touched. It was happiness rooted deep within her heart. My silly fool, as long as I have him, even if the whole world abandons me, I won't be alone. When a woman wholeheartedly dedicates herself to a man, there's only one reason: love. Feeling Cai Er's closeness on his back, the soft and satisfying sensation of her legs wrapped around his waist, Long HaoChen felt a slight relief from his inner pain. However, when he looked up and saw the approaching demonic cavalry, the fire of vengeance reignited in his eyes. These bastards, it was them. They're the reason my Cai Er needs 7 months to recover. It's them, it's all because of them. Amidst the buzzing, blue rain and light lotus appeared in Long HaoChen's hand. Flickering in golden light, the holy sword appeared in his left hand as well. With a flash, he landed on Haoyu's back, supported by the light elemental elf, Yiting, who was diligently releasing the gathering spirit halo to help him recover his spiritual energy. He was regaining as much as 20 points of spiritual energy per second. In just a short while, Long HaoChen's spiritual energy had recovered nearly half. The enemy drew closer, and in the cave, Lin Xin stared at LinXin with anger. Are you useless? Can't you even cast a fireball spell? Do you know how much vitality Yi Jun expended to restrain the previous demon commander? If it weren't for HaoChen rushing back in time, we might all be left here. Are you truly a 5th rank mage? You are not fit to be a demon hunter. No wonder Lin Xin is so angry. She clearly saw the situation in the cave earlier, and was rushing back to support as fast as she could. LinXin, at the last moment, only used a weak resist flame ring, which thoroughly infuriated this headstrong Retribution Knight. When everyone was giving their all, only LinXin failed to unleash a powerful attack. With his abilities, if he had been able to cast a series of powerful fire magic spells, perhaps he could have severely wounded that demon commander. LinXin's face paled somewhat. He remained silent in the face of Lin Xin's anger. Why don't you speak up? Are you even a man? Your magical control is so impressive. You're even a 5th rank mage. Why can't you perform a single attack spell? I really regret not stopping HaoChen more forcefully back then. Enough, Lin Xin. Han Yu struggled to stand up, with Wan Yuan, Shima Xian, and Chin Er gathering around him. Lin Xin, you should know, Lin Xin is an alchemist. You see, the reason a few of us are much stronger than Dian Yen is, and have managed to endure for so long, is because we've been taking the elixirs Lin Xin provides. Lin Xin doesn't attack, but without him, we wouldn't have been able to hold out until HaoChen returned. Lin Xin is a member of our commander level number 21 demon hunting squad. His contributions are clear to see, and he's an indispensable part of our team. Everyone has their own shortcomings. Why can't he have his? Lin Xin exclaimed angrily. Yes, everyone has flaws, but attacking is a mage's duty. As a high-damage fire mage, he can't even cast a basic fireball spell. Why is that so? I just want him to give me a reason I can be convinced by. If there comes a day when HaoChen can't withstand enemy attacks, and has to rely on his attacks to defeat the enemy, what then? When he could have improved his attacking potential, why did he choose to be weak? I don't want to see the day my brother looks at him in despair. Alright, I'll tell you. Lin Xin almost shouted. He took a step forward, approaching Han Yu, his body trembling intensely, his initially pale face turning a shade of red. I won't use attack magic, not a single one. You're right, my situation is different from Sima's. He can't learn healing magic. But that's not my issue. If I wanted to, I could learn any fire magic that's within my capabilities. But I won't, I can't. Pausing briefly, Lin Xin's eyes were already filled with tears. My parents, back then, in the magic temple, were prodigies even more exceptional than I am. They were only 30 years old when they successfully broke through to the 6th rank, advancing towards the 7th. They were hailed as leaders of the younger generation. My father excelled in various attack magic, especially in researching powerful fire magic all his life. But one day, he made a mistake. He accidentally triggered his heavily compressed fire elemental energy. And at that moment, my mother was with me looking for him. To protect me, my mom shielded me with her body, blocking the terrifying explosion's force. And both she and my dad died tragically in that catastrophe. That year, I was only 5. But I'll never forget the moment when the fire element caused a terrifying explosion. If it weren't for attack magic, how could I have lost my parents? If it weren't for attack magic, I would have had a happy family. I don't study attack magic, because I don't want to follow in their footsteps. I don't want a day to come when my loved ones and companions die due to my magic. Since then, no matter how much my grandfather pressured me, I've refused to learn any attack magic, up until now. But I'm not worthless. I will use everything I have to help my team. If one day, the situation you described actually happens, then I will surely die before everyone else, to prove the words I said today with my body. After saying this, Lin Xin was already choked with tears. Han Yu sighed, patting his shoulder gently, addressing Lin Xin. I can understand your feelings, but why must you unnecessarily expose his inner scars? If there wasn't a special reason, why wouldn't he learn attack magic? We don't ask, not because we lack doubts, but we choose to trust our companions. Always. Lin Xin will forever remain a part of our demon hunting squad. Long HaoChen stood silently on Hao Yu's back, gazing at the approaching group of large demon riders. An unprecedented intense killing intent grew stronger. Feeling Cai Er's warm body behind him, his heart twisted in waves of pain. He had never hated anything like he did now, but his hatred for these large demon riders had reached its peak. For me, it's all for me. Cai Er suffered such immense injuries. Even if I have to shed my last drop of blood, I won't let them harm Cai Er. Even a bit more. I'm going to kill them. I'll exterminate all the demons. The enemies were getting closer. Although Long HaoChen didn't possess enhanced vision abilities, his eyesight had always been good. And now he could discern the strength of the enemies. 30 large demon riders, same as before in terms of quantity. Leading them was a 6th-ranked demon commander. No other demon clan elites appeared. Evidently, these 30 large demon riders were the reserve forces from before, responsible for reinforcement and flexibility. Responding to the demon lord's signal, they hurried over quickly. A golden mist began to emanate from Long HaoChen's body. Suddenly, brilliant golden light shone brightly in the impending dawn's darkness. Like a lighthouse, it stood out conspicuously. The large demon riders evidently saw this. Radiant golden light full of brilliance was to them like how Long HaoChen perceived dark spiritual power, gathering momentum. Long HaoChen could clearly feel the liquid spiritual energy inside him, rapidly condensing at an astonishing speed. The Holy Spirit sword in his left hand was planted in the ground next to Hao Yu, and he now gripped Blue Rain, Light Lotus with both hands. His entire being entered into a strange state. Along with his increased cultivation, the speed of his gathering momentum was now much faster than before. The continuously condensing immense spiritual energy, flowing through his hands, was crazily infused into Blue Rain, Light Lotus. All 3 of Hao Yu's heads began chanting in unison, each one intoning a different incantation. The rhythm was strangely harmonious, without affecting Long HaoChen's buildup of momentum. Instead, there was a peculiar harmony. At this moment, inside the cave behind Long HaoChen, peace had returned. Only Lin Xin standing at the entrance. Her expression kept changing. Regret and guilt were in her eyes. Yet her hands gripping the twin swords remained steady. Inside the cave, the gazes of others were fixed on Long HaoChen, observing the not overly tall figure, who exuded an aura of dominance and the ability to stand alone against all odds. Even though only Long HaoChen appeared outside to face the enemy, there was something odd. Both Commander Level Number 21 Demon Hunting Squad and Soldier Level Number 4 Demon Hunting Squad seemed to feel a sense of security, as though as long as Long HaoChen was there, no harm could befall them. Each of them focused on recovering their spiritual energy. Lucy would cast healing spells as soon as he had a little energy. The primary focus of the healing spells was Dian Yan, who was still unconscious. Dian Yan's injuries were severe. He had taken a nearly 10,000-point blow from the demon commander, which was like colliding with a mountain. His shield was broken, both his arms were broken, and even his ribs and sternum were damaged to some degree. His internal organs were displaced. If not for Lucy's timely healing, he might have died due to ruptured internal organs. HaoChen, be cautious of their combined spiritual power technique. Lin Xin shouted loudly in the direction of Long HaoChen. They had faced the large demon riders twice before. The first time, under Hao Yu's chaos element separation magic, the large demon riders were unable to exhibit their full strength. And the second time before, due to Cai Er's strength, he greatly disrupted the attacks of the large demon riders, and even managed to eliminate the enemy's key figure, the Demon Lord. If it weren't for the Demon Lord, fearing Cai Er's intense killing intent, opting for a combined spiritual power technique using himself as the focus, no one could have withstood that blow. However, at this moment, they were about to face the large demon riders for the third time, without Cai Er's interference, and without the possibility of HaoChen's surprise magic attack. Confronted with these large demon riders, it was only Long HaoChen standing alone. Could he defeat them? Behind the demon commander, 10 large demon riders were lined up neatly, prepared to unleash their combined spiritual power technique. Another 20 large demon riders split into 2 groups, flanking from both sides, creating a 3-sided encirclement. An intense sense of pressure kept rising. No matter how one looked at it, Long HaoChen seemed unable to directly withstand them. Just at that moment, HaoChen moved. Its massive body carried Long HaoChen and charged head-on at the demon commander, who was in a combined spiritual power state. The demon commander was a 6th-ranked demon clan expert, very experienced. Seeing the intense light elemental spiritual energy radiating around Long HaoChen's body, he could judge that this human before him, in terms of spiritual power, was definitely inferior, not to mention that he was currently in a combined spiritual power state. He let out a sinister laugh. The demon commander rode atop a nightmare demon horse, charging straight toward Long HaoChen. 10 large demon riders behind him held their spears forward, connected by dark red spiritual energy, as if they were a single entity, rapidly advancing alongside the demon commander. These large demon riders were the elite of the demon clan's elite. Highly trained and formidable on the battlefield, they were akin to the prestigious, human radiant angel knights, and their combined spiritual power technique often caused the Temple Alliance significant trouble. Whenever they appeared on the battlefield, the Temple Alliance had to send strong individuals to deal with them. Long HaoChen was just one person, mounted on HaoChen's back. What's more, he was standing on HaoChen's back, facing the demon commander's intense red firelight, which was radiating fiercely and illuminating an area of tens of square meters. The imposing aura of Long HaoChen was clearly weaker. However, HaoChen's charge remained unyielding, full of strength. The spell that HaoChen was chanting had stopped at this moment. If observed carefully, at this moment, HaoChen's 3 heads and 6 eyes had completely turned purple. Its scales shimmered with a faint purple radiance. As the 2 sides closed in, from 100 meters to 50 meters, to 30 meters to 20 meters, 10 meters, watching each other, they are about to enter each other's attack range. Just at this moment, simultaneously, all 3 heads of HaoChen let out a deafening roar of anger. It's clear to see that a burst of intense purple suddenly erupts from its 3 heads. A scene that shocks the entire audience unfolds. Under HaoChen's roar, the demon commander, whose body was surrounded by a deep red flame, trembles intensely, and the immense spiritual power around his body suddenly disappears. The large demon cavalry behind him, along with their nightmare demon horses, stagger around as if drunk, with no semblance of maintaining their spiritual link. A golden light instantly cuts through the air, compressing it and causing a violent burst of air. In the next moment, a sharp whistle resounds as the nightmare demon horse, under the demon commander, is instantly severed from underneath by a golden light, which seems to be suspended in the air. Kill! Long HaoChen roars, and HaoChen charges toward the demon commander. What's strange is that the demon commander with the added golden thread remains motionless. It's only when HaoChen collides that the spear in his hand, his body, and the nightmare demon horse are suddenly shattered. Just like the demon commander that fought fiercely under Long HaoChen's hands before, it's cut in 2 by a single strike. If one were to say that the previous demon commander that died under Long HaoChen's hand could be attributed to its weakened strength, combined with Yijun's magic restrictions and Lin Xin's resistant fire ring attack, leading to Long HaoChen's successful sneak attack. However, this time there's no room for luck. This time it's a direct clash resulting in an instant kill. Even in its prime state, and with a spiritual link, the demon commander couldn't even take a single blow from Long HaoChen. No one knows what ability was unleashed in HaoChen's angry roar, but when it charged past the 10 large demon cavalrymen, by demon commander's side with Long HaoChen, all that remained was a field of corpses. This included the nightmare demon horses, and there wasn't even a complete body left. These large demon cavalrymen had hardly any resistance. After releasing that roar of anger, HaoChen completely retracts its aura. Its eye color returns to normal, and it doesn't release any more magic, appearing somewhat fatigued. However, what it did was already sufficient. By assisting Long HaoChen in disrupting the demon commander's spiritual link, the outcome of this battle was predetermined. Influenced by HaoChen's roar, the demon commander couldn't even unleash a single effective skill, and in that heart-pounding fear, was cleaved in 2 by Shura's slash. The following process was a massacre. Long HaoChen used only a few skills: charge, assault, lightning thrust, and cross slash. These low-level retribution knight skills, when used by him, unleashed powerful might. With the support of light elemental elf Yiting behind him, using these skills with lower spiritual energy consumption was no burden for Long HaoChen. After storing energy for Shura's slash, he had only a few hundred units of spiritual energy left. But with his powerful spiritual energy recovery rate, it was enough to deal with the remaining enemies. Don't forget, the current Long HaoChen was getting closer and closer to the 6th rank. In the cave, everyone witnessed a dazzling scene, a golden figure standing on the mountainside overlooking the area. Amid flickering golden light, enemy flesh and blood scattered, and on his back, he carried Cai Er, who had lost all 3 senses. Just one person, and yet, with the assistance of his mount, he was actually slaughtering powerful demon cavalry. Even the 6th-rank demon commander was instantly killed. This had completely transcended the realm of a 5th-rank knight. Feeling the chilling murderous intent emanating from Long HaoChen, the members of Commander level number 21 Demon Hunting Squad were more excited, while the members of Soldier level number 4 Demon Hunting Squad were rather ashamed. The longer they interacted, the more Soldier level number 4 Demon Hunting Squad felt the disparity between themselves and Commander level number 21 Demon Hunting Squad. The couple, Long HaoChen and Cai Er, continuously wielded the power of the Eternal Melody. Other members also displayed their formidable abilities, but more importantly, their unity. The entire slaughter took only 10 minutes, and Long HaoChen didn't spare the last enemy. The final large demon cavalryman met his end by Long HaoChen's Holy Spirit Sword in a desperate gamble, and it seemed that, at this moment, Long HaoChen still had plenty of energy. Light Elemental Elf Yiting diligently assisted in his recovery. Without removing Cai Er from his back, Long HaoChen flicked off the blood droplets from the dual swords on his back, and with Haoyu, he strode back to the cave entrance. Long HaoChen didn't possess any powerful, group healing magic, but that didn't mean Haoyu couldn't heal. A radiant light illumination skill instantly filled every corner of the cave. Everyone, get ready, I'll clean up the battlefield, and we'll leave as soon as possible. Long HaoChen's voice was slightly hoarse. After saying this, he turned around and walked out, collecting the bodies of the demon cavalrymen and nightmare demon horses into the Eternal Melody. Yes, the Eternal Melody itself was a storage magical item. As for how big its space was, with Long HaoChen's current spiritual power, he still couldn't sense it. Through the slaughter just now, Long HaoChen's perception became even clearer. Every time he killed a demon cavalryman, the opponent's soul would immediately be drawn into the Eternal Melody. Furthermore, after killing an enemy just now, the enemy's soul seemed to be richer and more concentrated than the souls absorbed from the battlefield corpses earlier.